Twitter is the id of most people out there. Okay, that's exactly what it is. Whatever people's midbrains are thinking, fire Ryan Day, That's what people think there. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things college football, pro football, EA college football, Madden, anything related to American football, hit that red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also hit the like button. Won't cost you anything. All it will cost you is being up to date on everything related to football. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So for today's video, we are going to start ourselves with a definition, because I think this definition is, when we understand it first, you understand the word, you understand the root of the word, where it kind of comes from. It's going to explain the situation we're going to be walking into, because there's some, let's just say, interesting behavior we have to explain. So here we are on wikipedia.com. A person. So a fan or fanatic, sometimes also called an aficionado or an enthusiast, is a person who exhibits a strong interest or admiration for something or somebody, such as a celebrity, a sport, a sports team, a genre, a politician, a book, a movie, a video game, or an entertainer. Collectively, the fans of a particular object or person constitute its fan base or fandom. They may show their enthusiasm in a variety of ways, such by promoting the object of their interest, being members of a related fan club, holding or participating in fan conventions, or writing fan mail. They also may engage in creative activities, fan labor, such as creating fanzines, writing fan fiction, making memes, or drawing fan art, or recommending that they fire their head coach. But anyways, let's get into the game we want to talk about real quick. So here we are with the college football semifinal game here. So Georgia Bulldogs, Ohio State Buckeyes. Everybody remembers here, Ohio State lost to Michigan in the week before conference championship time. Michigan goes to conference championship. They win it. They go 13-0. Ohio State 11-1 with only a loss to a top 2 team. They get in the playoff at the 4 spot over Ohio State. So they get into the playoffs there. So then we see here, they come out and they play. They do pretty well. Again, they were up a good ways here. So we check over the play-by-play. We're able to see here that they were up at 1 point, 38-24. They blow a 14-point lead in the final quarter there. They give up 8. They get outscored 18-3 in the final quarter to lose 42-41 to Georgia. So you think about that. Tough game there, playing for a national championship. So obviously you're not going to recommend to fire your head coach, right? No. You're going to recommend that you fire your head coach. Fans call for Ryan Day, who is 45-6, to be fired as the head coach of Ohio State. Some fans never want to see Ryan Day coach another game for Ohio State Buckeyes. OSU lost in an absolutely heartbreaking fashion late Saturday night, 42-41 in Georgia, to get bounced from college football playoff. Actually, as a matter of fact, the kick was being missed as New Year's hit. It was kind of crazy with that whole situation for the East Coast. Now, after the loss to Michigan, with a disappointing loss to the Bulldogs, some fans want him gone. So we see here what we got. This is what we have. Sunday morning, Ohio State's whole defense should be walking home, and Ryan Day should be fired for that fourth quarter collapse. Ryan Day needs to be fired. To all the OSU fans that want to fire Ryan Day, fire Ryan Day, fire Ryan Day. Born on third base and still can't score. Jeez. 110% fire Ryan Day, fire Ryan Day. Oh my gosh, fire Ryan Day, fire Ryan Day, fire Ryan Day, fire Ryan Day. If you're satisfied with Ohio State losing to Michigan 2 years in a row and blowing a 2-score fourth quarter lead in the playoffs, then we just have different expectations for this program, and that's okay. Fire, period, Ryan, period, Day, period. Fire Ryan Day. Fire Ryan Day. It hasn't changed. Gosh. I mean, you think about this. This is absolutely nuts here. So this article actually sets the precedent here because, first of all, the article, obviously, it's a little clickbaity, but it is what it is. I clicked on it too. As a matter of fact, it also got our dear friend, Mr. Joel Klatt, to comment on it as well. So Joel Klatt says right here, this is completely ridiculous. What an absurd article. So, and again, if you actually read the article, they actually come to the defense. So this, unfortunately, this is one of those situations where the title of the article and the content of the article are not the same, but the people know how people read, which is the reason why, you create something clickbait. I've created clickbait things before where the title's one thing, you click on it, and then you realize it's a little bit more nuanced than that. You can tell Joel probably didn't read the article here because when you read through it, even the article's, author was like, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous that they want to fire a 45-6 head coach after one loss by 1 point to a team that won the national championship last year. It is what it is. But let's continue on with the original article. Right here it says, let me be clear. Let me be crystal clear on this. Calling for Ryan Day to be fired is an all-time unhinged and delusional take. Joel Klatt, you see, that's they weren't saying they need to fire him. Yes, he made some huge mistakes down the stretch. None were bigger than his unbelievably weak play calling on the final series. Instead of being aggressive late in this game, some atrocious play calling forced OSU to settle for a field goal attempt. It wasn't even close, and Georgia walked off with a 42-41 victory. The Bulldogs advanced to and Ohio State sent home. However, that doesn't mean Ryan Day should be canned. The man is 45-6 as a head coach. Let me repeat that. He is 45-6 as a head coach. In 4 seasons as the head coach of the Buckeyes, he's gone to the playoffs 3 times. You want to be fired with a coach that goes to the CFP 75% of the time. If that's not delusional, I don't know what is. Urban Meyer only made it 2 out of the 4 years. He did win a national championship. Ryan Day has not. But losing to Michigan back years isn't great, especially they had a long series there where they were winning against Ohio or against Michigan, and they lose 2 years in a row. But again, I think first, just to make sure we're clear, Ohio State's defense versus Michigan's offense is a bad matchup for Ohio State's defense. They are a really, really, run the ball team. Even without Blake Corum, they're a really, really physical bunch up front. That 4-2-5 defense from Ohio State can do well. There's probably 100 programs they can shut out in the run game. One of those, the not 100, is probably Michigan and a couple other programs like that too. But short of an epic collapse in 2023, there's no chance Ryan Day is not even on the hot seat. So everyone should relax with the Twitter hot takes written by David Hookstead. David, I come to your defense, okay? Joel Klatt just read he probably read the title. He did read the article. You understand that it's ridiculous. But I'm telling you, Twitter, dude, if coaching staffs and things were, turned over to Twitter, the world would be in constant upheaval because Twitter is it's your inner monologue. Honestly, Twitter is your id. Whatever is so there's a concept in psychology where there's your ego, which is yourself. There's your super ego, which is all of the rules and regulations and things you have to follow. And then there's the id, and the id is the base human primal layer. So you have your overarching, like almost like it's your heaven and hell, or your angel and your demon on your shoulders. Your angel is your super ego, and your id is your devil. Your devil tells you what you want to hear, whereas your super ego tells you what you need to hear, and then you have to kind of make the decision there. Twitter is the id of most people out there, okay? That's exactly what it is. Whatever people's, midbrains are thinking, fire Ryan Day, That's what people think there. Let's just make sure we're clear here. I don't see a decline coming for Ohio State. Now, obviously, they're going to be back at it again. They do have to replace the quarterback. CJ Stroud is more than likely going to be going pro. But if you see the receivers, they're going to be fine at receiver. Okay, they might lose Jackson Smith and Jigba and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Mecca Ibuka. They might lose a couple of those guys, but they lost those guys before. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. They're going to be just fine at receiver. And as you come down here and see, they finished 6th this year in recruiting. And then if you check 2021 or 2022, 21, 20, they've gone, they're all top 6 there. In fact, this is their worst recruiting year in the last 4 years. They're worst at top 6. So there's no impending situation where they're going to be falling down from there. I do want to make sure that we're clear about this. And I think the reason why I started off with the definition of fan short for fanatic, somebody who's crazy. They follow their team fanatically. Okay, they go crazy for that. Check this out. And again, Zach Miller over here at Medium.com, he has a couple of these. I've been checking them because I always check out my Boise State Broncos to see how that much they're watched. But anyways, I want to make sure you can see that Boise State's in the middle of the pack there. Top of the pack is Ohio State. Okay, you come down here and check it out. The average number of viewers they have per game is 5.8 million viewers. That's absolutely shocking. You come down here, we go to 80, and it's Ohio at 214,000. So Ohio versus Ohio State is 5.8 versus 214. I know it's a MAC team, but I'm basically saying that this is the most popular team in the country. It's almost like the Cowboys. Cowboys have tons and tons of fans in the NFL. A lot of people are like, oh, they should do this, they should do that. And unfortunately, they just have to turn it over to the leadership. I know Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, people don't necessarily like a lot of things that they've done, but it's very, very difficult when you have such a fat, passionate fan base. This is how many people watch. I guarantee you, of that 5.8 million that watch every single week, there's at least 200 morons in there. I'm just saying, there's Boise State fans that are morons. There's Idaho Vandals fans that are morons. There's USC fans that are morons. There's Texas fans that are morons. There's no Rice fans that are morons. Well, there's no Rice fans that are unrealistic. No, excuse me. There's no Rice fans that are morons. There might be some that are unrealistic. That's a fair assessment, okay? Because most Rice fans, if you're a fan of Rice, it's such a unique situation to be a fan of Rice. They have super hard to get into that school, and it's not like it's like, oh, the local community gets behind Rice. I feel like that would be more like a Houston situation, but why am I getting on a tangent here talking about Rice? Anyways, Ohio State, You've got some dumb fans. You're 45-6. It's okay if you don't win the national championship every single year. You got to be close. You might lose C.J. Stroud. Remember, you guys rebuild. You guys reload. You don't rebuild. You guys are going to be just fine. I also want to give precedent here because as much as Ohio State is a national power right now, USC just went through kind of a little down period there. We're also seeing Texas had their own little bit of a down period there. We see the fact that before Nick Saban got to Alabama, they had a little bit of a down period. There's no guarantee you're going to be winning forever no matter what. If you have a good player, a good coach, and it's working out, stick with them. I say that to bring up Nebraska. Now, again, I brought them up before, and Bo Pelini was fired for a myriad of reasons, obviously, but one of the big ones here, if you check this out. So they had Tom Osborne. Tom Osborne was doing great. They had Frank Solich, and then went to Frank Solich here, and they fired him after he went 9-3. And then they had Bill Callahan, and he kind of flamed out. Then they had Bo Pelini. Bo Pelini, 9-4, 10-4, 10-4, 9-4, 10-4, 9-4, and then 9-3, and then he was let go. Like I said, it was a couple of other reasons there. One of them on top of that was the fact that he just wasn't the coach that you wanted to be to win the national championship. So they go to Mike Riley, and then they go 6-7, 9-4, and then 4-8, 4-8, 5-7, 3-5, 3-9, and then they went 1-2 with Scott Frost, where they went 4-8. So there's no guarantee that it's going to automatically replicate itself. Again, Columbus, pretty easy to recruit to. You get really good recruits out there, amazing facilities, tons and tons of things to go off of there. But there's no guarantee you get rid of Ryan Day, you're automatically going to win a national championship there. But telling that to a person, they can understand that. Telling that to a fan whose team just lost in a surprising fashion. If that kick goes in, nobody says this, okay? And they're winning. They're going on to the next round. So telling that to a fan, a little bit more difficult there. Like I said, I would love it if my team went 45-6 over the last couple of years with the head coach. Ryan Day, again, did not have the results he wanted to do. If we see this continually year after year, there might be a situation there. But Ohio State doing really well, playing the team that just won the national championship, and your kick was a couple of yards. I'm glad to say it was maybe you were 30 yards. I know you missed it by quite a ways there. You're 30 yards away from winning the national or going to the national championship to play TCU. So it's really hard to harp on them there for that. But man, it's okay. You didn't win it this year. You'll have a chance next year. You guys, like I said, you reload, you don't rebuild. Don't fire Ryan Day. And don't tweet about it either. You look really stupid. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. So for me, guys, I am out.